Good evening and thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with the political earthquake underway in Europe. The United Kingdom is divided and it is leaving the EU. After the ballots were counted, this is how things stand. The red areas voted to leave, the yellow areas voted to remain. It feels tonight like everyone is traveling without a map. The political and economic implications are already being felt. Our Eric Sorensen is looking at that tonight. Vashi Kapelos reports on what Brexit means for Canada. There was a lot of fear and xenophobia fueling this. Our Tom Clark explores how we got here. But first, Jeff Semple, who is in London tonight. Jeff, this came as such a shock to millions. Has it sunk in yet?
Yeah, Donna, I think a lot of people here still feel like they're about to wake up from a strange dream or perhaps a nightmare after an unprecedented referendum result that took a lot of people by surprise.
This means that the UK has voted to leave the European Union.
Stunned jubilation. Remain was supposed to be ahead. Even some who voted to leave the European Union didn't actually expect to win.
I'm shocked that we actually have voted to leave. I didn't think that was going to happen. My vote, I didn't think was going to matter too much because I thought we were just going to remain.
Think again.
The sun has risen on an independent United Kingdom.
Nearly 52% voted for Brexit, winning by more than 1 million votes, enough to chase the British Prime Minister out of number 10 Downing Street.
But I do not think it would be right for me to try to be the captain that steers our country to its next destination.
David Cameron, who called the referendum in the first place, said he would step down before his Conservative Party's conference in October and leave it to his successor to negotiate terms of the EU divorce. Former London Mayor and Leave campaigner Boris Johnson is tipped as the favourite to replace him and did his best to sound conciliatory.
We cannot turn our backs on Europe. We are part of Europe.
Whoever moves into Downing Street will inherit a referendum-ravaged parliament and an utterly divided United Kingdom.
We are not Italian, we are not French, we are not Spanish. We are British and we've always been different.
Many Brexit voters saw the referendum as a chance to shut the door on immigrants from Eastern Europe. EU migrants already in the UK will be allowed to stay, but many, like this German musician, aren't sure if they want to.
I feel sad, you know. We all live here in this country. We all give our contribution. It's more about just a country leaving the EU. It's about every individual.
Today's referendum could be just the start. Yesterday's vote was divided along familiar lines. Wales and England voted for Brexit, while Northern Ireland and Scotland voted Remain. Scotland, in particular, enjoys close ties with the European Union and voted no to independence a couple of years ago, in large part so they could remain within the EU.
That the option of a second referendum must be on the table.
The economic uncertainty sent the pound plummeting to levels not seen in decades. The Brits now looking to a Canadian for emergency help.
The Bank of England will not hesitate to take additional measures as required, as markets adjust, and as the UK economy moves forward.
Mark Carney topped a long list of economic leaders who'd warned for months a Brexit vote could spark a recession. But the majority of voters clearly felt it was worth the risk.
Their wages haven't gone up for 8 or 9 years. They see their communities changing very fast, sense of a loss of status and esteem, a disconnect between them and the capital, and they really want something done about that.
Now, one of the starkest divides we saw in the vote overnight was old versus young. Younger voters, the vast majority, wanted to remain part of the European Union, while their grandparents voted overwhelmingly for the Brexit. But as more than a few of those younger voters have noted today, Donna, it's their generation that will now have to live with the consequences.
One of the many divides. And Jeff, it feels like we're traveling down a new path. No one's sure where it leads. With Cameron leaving, who will negotiate this divorce?
Well, this certainly will not happen overnight. Once Britain has named a new prime minister, it will be up to them to pull the trigger, initiate Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty, which effectively starts the clock and gives the United Kingdom up to 2 years to negotiate the terms of their Brexit. But really everyone from EU law and political experts admit that they don't know exactly how this is going to work moving forward, because in the Union's 43-year history, Donna, no country has ever been here before.